Hello, this is VINITHA Selvaraj from Trichy Department, contesting for the post of Vice President. Good evening and hello to everyone. So, I want to start with why I chose these reforms in my manifesto. For the past 3 years, I feel like I've always been on the other side of things. I've been complaining, whining, ranting on Facebook. But finally now, I feel like I have a chance to do things. This is an opportunity for me to be a part of the solutions and not just talking about the problems that we have. I feel personally about these reforms. I feel like they have to be immediately addressed. They are needs, not wants. So without further ado, I'd like to go on and present the agenda. First and foremost, the most important responsibility of a vice president is OPAL and its inmates. So I'll talk about the hostel concerns and then move on to the institute concerns. In the beginning, I feel like we have enough facilities in our hostel, but there are a lot of things which have to be improved. Our common rooms have ACs, they have TVs, but there is no connection. I think there should be at least one common room in each hostel which has to be converted into an air-conditioned study room with proper tables and chairs. I think this will be highly beneficial and a welcome change in this sweltering heat of NIT Trichy. Also, I feel our academics is now moving towards a much more practical approach. We are being given a lot of mini projects to work on. And while the boys do have other options, they can work in the student activity center after 9 p.m., we girls do not have that opportunity. So I think in OPAL we can have at least one tech room with basic facilities like a drill, saw, soldering iron, and as some of my architecture friends also mentioned, they also needed some drafting tables. So I think we can include all this in the OPAL tech room, and I think it will be really helpful for the students, especially after second year. Moving on, from the previous office bearers, I heard that the work regarding night canteen and renovation of gym is already going on. So I will not present this in my manifesto, but if elected, of course, I will plan to work on ensuring that these facilities are brought to OPAL. But currently the situation is we do not have a night canteen and there is no restaurant who can deliver to OPAL after 9 a.m. So I think there should be no hassle in getting food deliveries from outside restaurants after 9 p.m. I think that's a very reasonable thing that we can pitch this idea to our warden. The final thing regarding hostel concerns is that I think we should have a proper waste disposal system in our hostels. Most of you would agree with that, especially in the bathrooms. The situation is like really, really bad. Now I'll move on to the institute concerns because once elected vice president, I don't want to restrict myself to just OPAL and its inmates. I think that the betterment of institute also lies with the vice president's hands. So first, I want to talk about the transportation issues. The auto rates right now are quite ridiculous. Even from going from OPAL to probably SE, they charge 40 rupees, which I think is squandering our money. So I think they have to standardize and reduce the auto rates of the on-campus autos, obviously. And the second thing are the bus timings. Right now we have buses for 8:30, 9:20 and 1:30. We do not have a bus for the 2:20 lab and 5 o'clock returning from the lab. So it's very hot and it's cumbersome. So I think that's a very reasonable thing that we can have. Moving on, this idea was pitched, I guess, in my first year by NIT Trichy, and it was the idea of recycle. The basic idea is that the seniors who are passing out donate their cycles to the institution, and these cycles are repainted, like say in a yellow color, and they have NITT written on them. So, and then these cycles have like fixed stands across campus, and you can ride them across anywhere. And I think it will be really beneficial for us in case of emergencies, or even in case someone's visiting our campus. I think it will be really helpful for them. So that's all regarding transport. Now moving on to books and academics. At the beginning of each semester, we all make the pilgrimage to Chatram to buy books. Now, why not have the shopkeepers from Chatram actually come down, like 5-6 vendors come down and put up stalls for a week or so at the beginning of each semester? I think this will be mutually beneficial because We can buy or even sell our old books, and they can also, of course, they all are here to service our needs. So I think this will be a good initiative. The next thing is the third year interns now is credited. And while you have DAD, MyTax, and company interns, there are students who apply for foreign university interns like NUS, ETH Zurich, and they do get these interns, but sometimes they do not get funding. And I think that in the other NITs, such as NIT Surathkal, they do cover some amount of the expenses, like visa expenses and travel expenses. So I think this can be implemented in our college as well. This is something which I feel is really important and has to be immediately addressed. The next thing I was thinking about is a student exchange program, at least within the NITs. I think that would be pretty good and welcome change. And the last point regarding institute development is, I think, a common mess, at least on a trial basis. Orion and LH is very far from Opal, at least. And most of the times we find our professors taking classes even up till 12:30. And then we have a lab to catch at 1:30. So it's kind of difficult for us, to commute back and forth between our hostel and LH. So I think perhaps BMS or something on a trial basis, we can have a common mess for boys and girls, serving at least lunch and breakfast. And of course, this will be on a first come, first served registration basis. We can see how it goes and then implement these in the other messes. So those are pretty much the unique points of my agenda. Of course, it's not an exhaustive list. I will cater to any of the grievances which the students have in the future as well. And I would also like to keep everyone updated regarding what issues the admin is working on, so that we don't have to wait for someone to rant on FB and then get a reply. So that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot, guys, for your attention. Thank you.